Good Thursday morning, everyone. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. You can see I've got the red turned on. Weather stick is red. Severe weather, yeah, not happening right now, but I do foresee it happening this afternoon and tonight as we get into a pretty good looking system that is going to come in. It may have two parts to it. I think we're fine during the day today. It's going to be more about wind and warmth and humidity, a mugginess to the air today. So you've got all day today to prepare for what's coming this evening. And then I think late afternoon, about the time you come home for supper or drive home from work, and then through the nighttime hours till about midnight or so, we're going to have a wave of just a big complex of rain and thunderstorms and gusty wind potential, torrential downpours. I think all of that is on the table, including the possibility of large hail and even a few tornadoes possible, especially if we get anything popping up this afternoon before sunset, just ahead of the frontal boundary. So lots of things to take in here. We'll get to it right now with a look at the Plano cam, as the current time is 7:47 on this Thursday. It is April 18th. And there you see partly cloudy sky. We're seeing a few clouds this morning, but you can look at those clouds. There goes a neighbor. Hello, neighbor. Going down the street. You can tell by looking at the clouds that there's a lot of humidity in the air. It's just a haziness that's out there this morning, and it is going to be one of those kind of a hazy, warm and muggy type days, which, you know, we're going to be waiting for things to pop as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. And it does look like it's going to pop. So we've got to be aware of that and just be ready for what's coming, as hopefully I've gotten you guys prepared so many times before. You should be prepared for whatever comes later. Here's a look downtown from our AAA Systems weather cam from Reservoir Hill. And you can see, if you look off in the distance, that's not rain, it's just haze. There's a lot of scattered clouds from the upper winds, and then you have the haze that is out there this morning. It's there could be some fog in there, but I'm thinking this is more of a haze because of the moisture content that's in the air, and it's going to continue to be that kind of a day. Just moisture laden atmosphere that is going to be with us all day, and then maybe the thunderstorms which come in tonight. And so some of those thunderstorms, yes, could be severe. So I'm going to break that down for you right now. People are still coming online, but we'll recap what we need to recap here. I just want to make sure you guys get ready. Preparedness is key. Be prepared, not scared. And I know for some of you, this stuff scares you, but don't. The best thing to do is just be prepared. That way you can get rid of a lot of the fear. Some of that fear, it's good to have a little bit of it, just so you're paying attention and that you know what's going on and you're concerned. It's more of a concern than it is fear. Fear will unfortunately make you make bad decisions based on emotion. What you need to do is make some intelligent decisions during times like this, just in case. Now, some of this may not even happen, but it is looking more and more like it will. And you see the target zone area today is right there in the center part of the country. Well, the central Mississippi River Valley, and it does include us, Southern Kentucky, in this. So let's break it down. Let me go into the Kentucky maps, and here we go with the outline for today. This is for this afternoon and this evening. Nothing is going to happen this morning or even midday. It's going to be later. So there are the lines. And again, if you've watched me long enough, you know that nature does not follow lines. It doesn't recognize a state line, a county line, an interstate. It just doesn't. So this is just a general outline. We have to draw these circles and lines somewhere, but just know that these don't cut off like you see them cut off here on a drawn graphic. But primarily, if you were to draw a line from Interstate 65 right there east, you're in a level 1 marginal risk, low end severe weather threat, because once this system comes in, it is going to be after dark and it's going to get weaker. So you're on the lower end of things. If you live along 65, you're in the level 2 slight risk. Little bit of a greater threat for some, hail producing storms, torrential rains, maybe a brief spin up, or if we get development this afternoon ahead of the main line, yes, we could get some severe storms. Then we go level 3, this orange shaded area west of 65 into western Kentucky, southern Illinois, most of Missouri. That's a level 3 enhanced risk. That's where the greater threat for hail and tornadoes are going to be. And here, I'll show you. This is the tornado outlook for this afternoon from I-65 and to the west, 2 to 4% chance of a tornado within that green shaded area. That's not much, but we can't say there won't be a tornado. We'll just have to say there is a possibility something could spin up. This is not the kind of situation where there's going to be tornadoes all over the place. This is going to be, there could be one here, one there, very spread out, short-lived. Hopefully that's the way it pans out. The greater threat for tornadoes, again, western Kentucky, where you saw that enhanced risk later today. Severe wind or damaging wind threat, certainly over the Bowling Green area and along 65, 15 to almost 30% chance of that happening. So those are pretty good odds. Better odds back into this pink shaded area, 30 to almost 45% chance of damaging wind, western Kentucky. Hail threat, we've got a pretty good hail threat covering, beyond 65 and to the east. So those of you that live out the Cumberland Parkway, you have a chance of getting some hail this afternoon. I don't see any large hail. If it was large hail, it would be drawn in with little hatch marks, but I don't see that. So we're talking probably small hail, although there could be, with stronger storms that develop, some larger hail. The largest hail is going to be back here toward, this is St. Louis, parts of Missouri and Illinois for today and early this evening. Now tomorrow, the severe weather threat is going to move further south. So you can see all of that will be gone. We'll have some leftover showers tomorrow morning, and then all of this is out of the way. No more storm threats, as you can see, for several days to come after that. But it's today that we've got to watch. This is for this afternoon, sometime after 4, 5 o'clock. Best timing for the pop-up storms. And then the main complex looks to come in about 10, 11, midnight. The big area of rain and thunderstorms. So that's the layout right now. If it changes, of course, I will let you know throughout the day, either through, social media or, on News40, whatever. We'll have updates for you and have that going. Plus, we'll push out updates on the News40 Weather App, which you can download right there. If you're new here to the podcast, All you got to do is take your phone, open it up, open up the camera, and then just point it right there at that QR code. And once you point your camera to that QR code, a little link will come up. You hit that link and it will take you to where you can download the News40 Weather App, and it will tell you instantly if you're in the path of a severe storm, a tornado, flooding. It will tell you all that as soon as the bulletin comes out. It will also detect lightning within a 15-mile radius of wherever you are. It knows your phone's GPS. It knows where you are, and it follows your phone and tells you if you're in the path of lightning or damaging wind or anything that's serious. It'll take care of that. So download that right there. And that way, whenever you need to know what's going on today, if something pops up this afternoon, which it may or may not, but if it does and they turn severe, you're in the path of the storm, it's going to alert you on your phone. So it's good to have that. All right, let's move on and get to the current maps. Now that you know the severe weather threat, let's see how it's all going to play out. So here's the current setup. The wind's coming out of the south. Let me go, see if I can do this. I want to go upper winds. I should have practiced this before I got on here. Wind, that's just the regular wind. Let me see here. Wind, severe weather. I know it's on here. I just got to find it. I want to see the shear. We can do, let me show you this. This is the convective available energy, potential energy for the thunderstorms this afternoon. This shows where the best layout or the best setup for severe weather might be. And here we go. This is right now. Okay, most of it's back to the west. And here we go into hour, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit of, not a whole lot. Most of the energy is going to be further south and west. Here we go into this evening, about 9 o'clock, close to midnight, 1 a.m. You can see then it all goes away, which is good. Okay, so that's one model. Let's go with a different model, and it's showing a little better. This is the high resolution rapid refresh, or HRRR model. Here's noon. We start to see anything above 1,000 is considered potential for severe weather, but you can see the worst is going to be from southern Missouri through Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, about noontime. And then if we get enough instability here this afternoon, then we would start to see pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Some of those may turn severe before the main system comes in. But you see, after the rains come about midnight, then the instability factor goes down to 0, because then the air would be very stable and we won't have to worry about anything after midnight tonight. So what's going on here? These are any kind of warnings that are up. That's special weather statements for fog. Let's see what's over here. Wind advisory. So there are no watches and warnings out for anything right now. It's all pretty quiet at the moment. Let's take a look at our normal radar. And there's nothing really happening here. The nearest shower and thunderstorm activity is up in northern Missouri, but this is the beginning of what's coming later today. It just hasn't We haven't got organized yet. Then a look at the satellite, high resolution satellite showing some of the scattered clouds that I just showed you from the Plano cam and the AAA systems camera downtown that we're seeing right now. Mix of sun and clouds today, pretty much over the entire area. But I can tell you that there is enough instability, enough wind shear, enough moisture that it's not going to take a whole lot of sun to trigger any severe weather this afternoon. Whether we get those individual cells or supercells or isolated cells that pop up, that's the big question. I know the big complex is coming in tonight. That's for certain. But whether or not we get these individual cells out ahead of the system, that's what remains to be seen. And we can't, it's just a big question mark at this point. So hard to say right now if that is going to happen, that first part of this system. Let's check mesonet temperatures. I want to show you this because there is a disparity in temperatures this morning, and it's all because of the frontal boundary, which is kind of wobbling back and forth across northern Kentucky. So you can see that temperatures are only in the 50s in northern Kentucky along the Ohio River this morning. That's because that frontal boundary is just kind of like snaking across, and it's kind of wobbling back and forth. It's starting to retreat back to the north, but where it hasn't gone back north as a warm front, it's chilly in northern Kentucky. But then you come to southern Kentucky, and we're 10 to 15 degrees warmer than they are up along the Ohio River. We're almost at 70. Let's check moisture, dew points. Oh, plenty of moisture. Look at that. Dew points well into the 60s. Very high dew points. That's why we're seeing the haze this morning that you saw on the cameras. But look how much drier it is north of us where the boundary is. Upper 40 to low 50 dew points. That's not bad at all. So they don't have the muggy air in northern Kentucky like we have right now in southern Kentucky. How about the winds? Well, the winds are coming out of the south, 3 to 5 miles per hour. But north of that boundary, they're coming out of the north. Isn't that strange? You can see the boundary right there as the winds change direction. That's why it's cooler. It's a bit chilly in northern Kentucky. They have the lower dew points. Yeah, you can, even without drawing a front on the map, you can tell where the fronts are just by looking at wind, looking at dew point. Winds are not all that gusty this morning, but they will become gusty later today once we start to have that the impact of that frontal boundary and that low pressure system moving in. So you'll be able to tell that something's brewing, something's getting ready to happen before it even happens. In this kind of environment, it's pretty easy to spot. Let's take a look at the model blender. Here we're going to have today the warmest day that we're going to have in the next several days. I'm going 86. They show 84. But I think there will be enough sun and enough sun energy today to set us up and southerly winds to 86. Then we see the change taking place tonight with the approach of the low pressure system and the cold front. We'll go down to about 60, 58 to 60. Tomorrow we'll get near 70. So we're going to reset back to where we should be this time of the year. Average temperature this time of the year, high temperature is 71. We hit 84 yesterday, which was 13 degrees warmer than average. By tomorrow, we'll be right at average. And we'll stay in the cooler 60s through the weekend. The weekend looks great, mostly dry. Then we see a return to the 70s next week and even a few 80s popping in by the end of next week and next weekend. But today will be the last of those really warm 80 summer-like mid 80 degree temperatures. After today, it's going to go down a lot. The map features, there's still an outage from the National Weather Service and the Aviation Center that does those maps that I show you with the fronts and all that on it. So I don't have that to show you. But let me just say once again that we have that really good chance of getting some strong to severe storms. The timing does look like it's going to be a little bit later. Let me show you one more thing. I forgot to call this up until just now, and it will help. Yeah, here we go. So let me show you this. Click on this. No, I don't want that. I want this new image. Hang on just a second. I'm going to get it. Okay, here it comes. So here's an image I should have called up earlier. I didn't have, this is from the Weather Service. Their weather outlook, as I showed you, the 1, 2, 3, here's Bowling Green down here. Medium confidence in the severe storms. Looks like the most likely timing for the strongest storms will be between 7 and 4 a.m. Eastern. So that would be 6 p.m. this evening and about 3 o'clock tomorrow morning to the far east. So, but for us, the timing does look like we're going to get a few of those pop-ups. If that should happen this afternoon, that would be before the main complex of thunderstorms, which will come in after dark and go through the evening hours. There's something with a front on it. This is a different looking map, but you can tell they've got outlined the area that is at the best risk of seeing severe weather today. Frontal boundary that came through yesterday to the south is a trigger, and then this is the main area of low pressure, and the front, the system coming in, the one that's going to push some of that severe weather our direction. Okay, good. I got to show you a map anyway. All right, let's check the chat box. We've got a lot of people in here this morning. Let's see. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Be prepared. Don't be caught off guard. Watching. Update. Hopefully updates later. Yep. Got the app. Good. Thank you, Michelle, for getting the app. And again, you can download that app right here with that QR code. Open the camera on your phone, scan that code right there, and it'll take you to where you can download the app. All right. So even though we're talking about severe weather today, there's a few things that may or may not happen. Namely, during the afternoon, will we get those individual cells that pop up with the heat of the afternoon? If we get those will be severe with damaging wind potential, even a few tornadoes possible. But then there's going to be this bigger complex of storms that rolls in late tonight and up until about midnight or so. That's just going to be a lot of very heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds, some hail potential. So kind of two things to watch for later this afternoon and tonight. And of course, I will be covering it all on News 40, 5, 6, and 10. And if we start to get a lot of warnings, I will break in on News 40, but we will be putting everything right here on the phone and on digital, Facebook live. Our app will have everything live. So if you don't want to watch your TV and you're in a situation, maybe your power goes off and you want to know, you can just watch it right here, right here. If you have a smartphone that has internet service, you can watch everything right there. and get your weather bulletins, everything. So make sure you're prepared for that. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. God bless.